There's so much to say. There's so much I could say. So I'm just going to give a brief-ish intro, um, and then we'll turn over to questions. That just feels so much more interesting to hear more voices. But I did jot down a few notes. I think everyone has seen that we're calling this the art of being human because it doesn't even feel right to call it a training because this is really a container with the right conditions for presence, love, support, accompaniment to support each person stepping more deeply into your innermost nature and finding your own way from inside to relate to your original self and relate with others from that place. And I know that might sound quite esoteric and probably is. And there are pathways. And a lot of them, some of them have to do with increasing a felt sense of safety in our own body and in community spaces to support the nervous system to be able to allow our authenticity to flow and allow us enough relational space and presence to recognize the way our conditioning flows in our sensory system, in our belief system, in our mind, our emotional body, and begin to really gently, courageously unwind these patterns and find ourselves more in the present moment and accessing resources that have always been within us, but, finding them and accessing more and more resources around us and from our surround in our environment and really building more meaningful lives um, in a true way. So, yeah, that's a lot of the intention behind this, and it is professionally focused. I'm hoping to call in people who are and are wanting to be um, in service to humanity, really, by doing our own integration work of who we are, our relationship with ourselves, and doing being present to healing our life journey and integrating our life experiences so that we can be more coherent and be somewhat islands of coherence sometimes in our communities, not in isolation, but create these islands of relational coherence through these practices. Many of you are already practicing in the cranial realm, and there's a way of extending that to larger relational fields and building security within ourselves through earned secure self-attachment, something we'll talk about, learn about a lot, and the practice of building secure attachment with others. And not just in a format, but in real time, living, breathing relationships. Every one of the TAs here and some of you students as well, we have long-term, reciprocal, enduring connections that add dimension and meaning to our lives. And so this is what we're doing here. Yeah. And we draw on a lot of science in kind of differing fields. This is a place where we synthesize a lot of current information that's provided from the outside, the external. And we do our best to keep that in really good balance, like all the juicy neuroscience and interpersonal neurobiology and all the words and phrases that my family's like, can you speak English now? All these yummy, very, very, very neat and meaningful sciences. And then we bring a balance to our own inner experience, and using these practical tools and information to facilitate our own integration internally within ourselves and in our social engagement system. Um, Again, it's so much about becoming more present and clearing our perceptual field and being in current time. And in order to do that, we often, I think probably always, need fields of connection and empathy to integrate any wounds that have happened in relationship. We need relationship to integrate and heal those places. So that is a lot of what we're doing in this training. There's some information. There's a lot of access to information. But my intention is to titrate the exposure to information in a way that supports really creating the conditions for deep internal and relational healing and integration to occur in your own developmental process. And we do a lot of that by slowing down. We can access these younger networks within our brain and nervous system most effectively. We can reshape and rewire by slowing down. So this is a professional training, and we get the most out of it that way when we slow down and do less, in a sense. And so that's what's on offer here. And yeah, that's a little bit of a general broad strokes. And the basic training is 10 seminars with some advanced seminars optional. And it's 5 days. Each seminar is 5 days. And we have a lot of small group work every seminar. Really, the majority of your process work will be done in small groups with 3 students with every 1 TA, and then more people circulating to support the small groups and the TAs in their pods. So there are more facts and details, but I'm just going to pause there for a moment and invite you to feel.